the church, and the school. And when you think about the way our society is structured today, so much of this comes down to, the families oftentimes are just getting the margins. Unless you're homeschooling here, oftentimes with your children, you're just getting the margins. Church might get them twice a week, if they're lucky. But the schools have them a lot. And the work that you guys are doing here at Educators, this is so vitally important. I've had such a blessing to be able to work alongside Dr. Hutz here and Ty and others, just to see just really this passion to see the nation transform around this core component of education. And for me, as a pastor of 20 years, having that be Christian focused is a very, very exciting thing. And so as I share, I'm going to be in my head trying to figure out which style I am from Dr. Kaplan's sheet the entire time. But hopefully I can give you a little bit of a showcase of what we do at TPUSA Faith. We really see ourselves as working in tandem with everything that's happening here with Turning Point Education Academy. And so I'm excited to kind of bring this to you. So I believe I have my little cue here. I think this is going to work. All right. So our focus here, we call this Faith Moving Forward. Of course, you know this guy, Charlie Kirk. I'm honored to be able to serve him and work underneath him. Just a little bit about my story. I've been a pastor at the same church for going on 21 years outside of South Bend, Indiana. Maybe you've heard of a man named Mayor Pete Buttigieg. I kind of got on the radar after calling some things out locally in our area. My church is just about 10 minutes from the University of Notre Dame. I've written several books in the space, really exposing the dangers of progressive Christianity, the Christian left, woke Jesus, others, published by Newsmax. And I had no intention, I would have told you I was unemployable by anybody other than kind of my own ministry where I was. I've worked for myself for a really long time and been part of our ministry, for now almost 21 years. Charlie had talked to me last summer and shared that, they were moving some things in the faith department. They were really looking for a pastoral figure to put at the helm of what was happening there. And I said, I think that's really great. And we were sitting down kind of over coffee talking about this at his office. And I said, do you have anybody on the radar yet? And he was like, we're getting there, but we don't have anybody yet. I said, well, once you do, I said, I would be happy to vet them. I said, I'll fly out to Phoenix, I'll vet them, I'll make sure that they're the right fit. You already know where this is going, right? And so I leave there, and a month later, I didn't hear anything. I get a text at 10:30 at night. It was like July 2nd or something like that last year. And Charlie's like, hey, can you talk? And Charlie could text me at 3 a.m. I would still say I can talk, and I had plenty of time, And so I jumped on the call, and he starts talking. He's like, hey, I think I want to take you up on being a spiritual advisor for what's going on in the faith department. I said, yeah, whatever you need. I said, I'll fly out there. I said, hour from now, jump on a Zoom call, all those sorts of things. And he's going on a little bit more, and I'm just very like, oh yeah, I'm in. And then he's like, no, I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying. And he's like, I want you to be the guy. And he's like, I feel like the Lord's told me that it's you. I've been looking for somebody else, and I can't get away from it. It's you. And I go, oh, that's a different thing altogether. And so, you know what? We prayed over it for a week, talked to all of our board, elders, advisors. Every single person said, this is God. And I knew it as soon as it came out of Charlie's mouth. It was a divine opportunity. And so it's been really an honor in my life to serve this past year as the senior director of TPUSA Faith. There's no end in sight. I actually commute back and forth between the Midwest and Phoenix. I'm on the road quite a bit, but I'm honored to be here and share with you guys a little bit about what we're working on and what we're doing here. So, all right, so we've already delivered the most conservative generation. If you've seen the stats, especially Gen Z males are more conservative now for their first time than their boomer counterparts. And this is a remarkable stat. It's not something we've really seen at all in any sort of recent U.S. history, and it is something that's very noteworthy. But that's not enough in my book. We also have to deliver the most Christian generation of all time. And I think that in many ways, the work that you guys are doing in the education space contributes to that immensely. So how do we do that? We have 3 mandates. The mandates are this: to unite the church around primary doctrine. We want to get the church, doesn't mean that secondary or tertiary issues aren't important, but we want to get Christians to stop fighting and disagreeing and arguing and dividing over secondary and tertiary issues. I get that different churches have a different view of women in ministry, and once saved, always saved versus losing your salvation, and are the gifts of the Holy Spirit active today, or are they not? Like, I have strong opinions about all those things, and in my individual church that I still preach at and orbit, those things matter immensely to me. But when I do my work at TPUSA, the work that we're doing to try to really connect the global church in this way here in the United States especially, is that we have to set down those secondary issues. Think in terms of like the Apostles' Creed. If somebody is going to affirm the Apostles' Creed, then I believe they're doing that genuinely. Then in my book, I think that what I see in Scripture is they're a believer. And if they're going to be in heaven, I'm going to treat them like a brother or sister now on earth, and we're going to find ways to work together. So we have Presbyterians and Charismatics and Catholics and Baptists all getting in the same room together, worshiping the Lord and talking about how we can advance the kingdom, and I think that's more of what we need today. So that's the first one. Second is we want to eradicate wokeism from the American pulpit. It's what I call defund woke church. Look, I won't go. I don't have time to go through all the stats or anything like that, but it's a problem, and that's a major focus for us. And lastly, we want to establish TPUSA Faith as a trusted source for the church here in America. All right, so next one, we have 4,000 church partners. We're building the largest database in the movement. We have about 400,000 churches in this country. We are working right now on building a database of every church in America so we can actually categorize these and strategically be able to reach them. We've reached about 20,000 churches so far. We got a lot more work to do. Pastor Summits, this is one of our recent one in Gainesville, Georgia. This is a new event. We got a 23-second trailer here. I want to show this to you about the Believer Summit. Mark your calendars, October 15th through the 17th. Oops. How do I play that? Is that something you guys have to do in the back? Okay. Can we not get the videos? No? Okay. Negative on the videos. It's a great video, and I'm now going to pantomime it because I'm body, I think, in the thing earlier that Dr. Gethy had. No, just kidding. This is October 15th through the 17th. Go to tpusafaith.com/believers. Maybe take a picture of the screen. This is going to be one of the largest Christian gatherings in the nation this year. We are shooting for about 6,000 individuals to come to this. It's open to pastors, ministry leaders, youth group, students. I mean, think like Christian Music Festival meets America Fest, and that is what Believer Summit is. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Also, we are hitting into the streets here. This video, we'll see if that one's not working for me either, okay? We've been going out. One of the words that Charlie and I worked on together this year for the faith department is gritty. We actually want to get in the trenches. I just spent 3 days on the Vegas Strip interviewing people about faith and talking to them about Jesus. We have a ton of content that's going to come out. I have another great video of this presentation that I can't show you right now, but it'll be there soon. If you follow us, you can follow TPUSA Faith on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're at, TikTok, or you can follow me at Mr. Lucas Miles, Mr. Lucas Miles, and you'll be able to see some of these deliverables as they come out. Those definitely a lot of exciting stuff that you're going to see there. One of the most amazing things I experienced in Vegas is when I talk to people, I would say, ask them about their faith. They would tell me they were Christian, and then I would say, what do you believe happens after you die? And almost probably 50% of the Christians that I talked to talked about reincarnation as being the reality after they die. We have a biblical worldview crisis in this nation. And a lot of that, again, comes back to that education component, to be able to really work with young people to lay a strong foundation early on. We work with a lot of trusted voices. Of course, Charlie, myself, Riley Gaines, Pastor John Amachukwu, doing school board visits, campus tours, all the above. We've got a great team we're building and more. We have a new podcast. You can check this out called Strong Church. I interview everybody from people in the education space to church space and culture, etc. And we've got a few featured guests here. Nathan Finocchio from Theos U, Dr. Frank Turek, Taylor Ransom, social media influencer, really funny guy. Strong Church Live, we are doing basically think Charlie's Prove Me Wrongs, but with a focus on You Need Jesus. We're doing these on TikTok almost every week with a group of Gen Z influencers to be able to just reach people in real time on these social media platforms. We're also going to campuses. So we did 3 of these in the spring. We're hitting about 10 to 12 campuses this next school year, where we're setting up a table, myself, sometimes I'll bring Dr. Frank Turek, other kind of friends of the movement, and we'll sit down in a tent, much like the Prove Me Wrongs that you see from Charlie, except for it's You Need Jesus, Prove Me Wrong. And we're getting, our first 3 that we did, we're getting anywhere from 300 to 500 students every time we do this. We're expecting that to go into the thousands this next year as we get campuses across the country. So if you have connections with campuses, etc., we'd love to hear from you about that. Have you come out and support the work there. A brand new course that's coming out called First Truths. Myself, Dr. Jeff Myers from Summit Ministries. Anybody familiar with Summit Ministries? We got some fans out there that do a great job. And so Jeff and I sat down and kind of go through really the foundations of the Apostles' Creed and break that down and how understanding primary Christian doctrine really lays a foundation for looking at these cultural issues, from sexuality to gender, marriage, sanctity of life, all of these things. When you understand God as creator, you understand that life is valuable. You understand that there's male and female. You understand what marriage is. This all comes out of these primary Christian doctrines that we have. And we also have a lot of courses, so I'm sure you guys have a lot of connections with churches across the country. We have everything we do for churches is free of charge. We have courses. There's about 12 or 15 of these free courses right now. Churches can offer as small groups and resource material, etc. And if you want to find out more about us, tpusafaith.com. It's an honor to be here with you guys today. I hope you have a great rest of your time. I'm headed over to staff.